Whoops, sorry. Sorry, Simran, I started recording late. This is what you get for skipping class. 400 equals 100 plus 6d. Now, how am I going to solve this thing? This, Liam, is where we're going to start some of what you suggested. Lena, first step?
Minus 300.
Yeah. If we can start taking things over and moving it to the other side, that would be a good option. So I'm going to take away 100 from both sides. So show your work. 100 minus 100, gone. 400 minus 100 is 300. So I don't have a lot of space, so I'm going to go over here. This is going to become 300 equals 6d. And now getting d by itself, we're going to divide by 6, divide by 6. 6 divided by 6 is 1, leaving me with just d on this side. And then 300 over 6 is 50. I want you guys to do this one. Try that guy. Let me know what you get. Give it a shot. Exactly the same set of steps. It's the same equation. Now you got some values. Give it a shot. No, Jamie, you're not using a pencil. I have a box of pencils on a front corner of pencils right there. Go grab one and now don't lose it. Come to the table, class. Don't land on one. I've got a box over there. How many guys on? No, over there. Pencil sharpeners. Let me know if you want to add. It's the exact same set of steps. Let me know when you've got a number. Having your calculator handy is probably not a terrible idea either. Except you're solving for something slightly different. Let me know what you get. And do what you're blessed. Put your phone on my desk. No, the bottom left hand. Very simple.
You have to put the phone on the desk.
Yeah. Plugging things in, moving things around. Yep. So that one you're going to have to leave alone to the very last thing you said. So you're looking for that b, right? Yeah, once you find the b, wherever b squared is going to be, so you're going to evaluate this. I would evaluate this. Move this chunk over. You know that b squared equals some number. Only at that step do you can square. But yes, you will square root the units. What'd you get?
Not fully done.
Well, finish and then you know that. Yeah, Jake. So careful. That you're going to goes into the B. Oh. Careful where you're substituting. So if I've got that equation, then I'm going to go right below it. The VF that we've labeled here is where we're going to put this 120. So I'm going to have 120 squared equals the VI, that's what we're solving for this time, plus 2 times A is 25, and D is 300. So that's the first step you should get. Your second step is still the same. Evaluate what you can first. So if you do that, the next line you guys should have gotten would look like this. 15,625 Oh no, I lied. I'm writing down the wrong thing. That should be, I wrote down the wrong number. Don't look at that. That should be 144,000. No, 14,400. Come on, Dweedoff. 14,400 is what that value should be there. Equals, we still don't know what that is, and we'll evaluate this piece. 2 times 25 is 50. 50 times 300, that should be plus 15,000. Oh, dang. I screwed this one up. For the sake of this thing actually working, we actually have to change that number. I'm really sorry, guys. That's got to be 125. That's why I made this. Dang it. Sorry, guys. You can't actually do it unless I change that value. No, because then you're square rooting a negative number. My apologies. Let's change that 120 to 125. And now it actually works. Sorry. So now we've got 15,625 is equal to VI squared plus 15,000. We're going to subtract our 15,000. And we're going to get 625 equals VI squared. And now the last thing we're going to do to get that VI by itself is to square root this mess. So VI is going to equal 25. Dang. My apologies. I screwed that one. All the rest, I'm looking at the rest of them. The rest of them all do work out. Dang it. You guys want to try, should we try another one? For the sake of making sure we don't screw this up? Okay, I want you guys to do, where's another one that makes a lot more sense? Example 4. I want you to do this one. Try that guy. It's a different formula. Try that guy. Okay, once you've got a value, let me know. What do we got for A? Starting right away with some of these gross ones. What do we get? Okay. You're writing for her because she's blind? There's layers there that are, there's going to be layers of issues there. Huh? You're writing for her because she's blind?
Yeah. She literally asked me.
Oh.
Yeah, I said yeah.
Oh, writing writing this.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. Perfect. I look forward to them arriving as much as you do, I'm sure. Okay, we'll try example 4. You don't need glasses for that one. Does anyone have an answer for number 4? Yeah, here to Joe? Almost.
Not religiously.
No, you dropped something. I got a slight, my answer is just ever so slightly different than that. Your number's right. But something about it is missing.
Oh, in calculus of a new percentage, right?
No. Unless I screwed up, that value should be negative.
Oh, it's negative 9%.
Is it? Like, can you see where you dropped a minus sign? Gotta be really, those are important. That makes a huge difference in what we're doing. Yeah, you should get negative 9.75 for this. 9.8, if you're rounding that to, my issue wasn't with the 9.75 you had. My issue was that value should be negative, and it's real important not to drop minus signs. Hands up if you got this value. Couple of you, okay. Hands up if you'd like me to go through it. Okay, not yet. Then Lena, don't look at the screen, and I'll go through it slowly. Again, same thing, we're starting with a formula, and we're just plugging the values in. I want you guys to get into the habit of putting brackets where the variables are, and just putting those numbers in. So D, I want to put brackets where D was, and I want to put my 190 in there. VF is,
Can I go to the order?
you can. We're going to take the VF, we're going to put a set of brackets where it was, we're going to put the 28 in there. I'm going to take the T, put brackets where it was, take the value that was for T, put it in the brackets, minus, all I'm doing at this stage is just writing out what's here. 1/2, that would be useful. Brackets, 4, and I'm going to square that. Now the next thing I said, to solve for something like this, is to evaluate wherever you can. 190 is just going to stay 190. 28 times 4 is going to be, 28 times 2 is 56. 56 times 2 is 112. Minus, and now I'm going to evaluate what I can here. 4 squared is 16. 1/2 times 16 is 8. And so what we're going to get here is 8a. If you march through it step by step, fill in the variables, put a set of brackets where they were, plug the value in, evaluate where you can. So 190 is just going to be 190. 28 times 4 is 112. 4 squared, and now over here, all of this is just multiplied together. So 4 squared is 16 times 1/2. 1/2 of 16 is 8. And now we're going to solve for this thing. I'm going to subtract 112. So minus 112 on both sides. So 190 minus 112 is, I'm going to get my calculator out for that. Is 78 equals negative 8a. That minus sign that was subtraction needs to stay with the 8a. And now we're going to divide by negative 8, divide by negative 8. And we're going to get that. And negative 9.75 equals a. Questions about anything I did there? Does that kind of make sense? Where are we getting bogged down? Not necessarily what's hard, but what's the hardest part that you guys find of a question like this? Is it the substitution? Is it the evaluation stage? Or is it actually the isolating stage at the end? Which of those three do you guys find the most irritating? Sorry, the evaluating part? So going from this line to this line. Okay. What part of that's giving you grief? So this part. Okay. So effectively, I don't know if I can explain it any differently, but effectively what you're doing at this evaluation stage is just bed mass on each term. If you remember back to grade 10, a term is anything separated by addition and subtraction. So ignore as much as you can doing math between terms and just focus on each piece. And then you got this last piece here, the 1/2 a 4 squared. Doing bed mass on this thing, brackets, exponents, division, multiplication, addition, subtraction. Exponents comes before anything else. So doing the 4 squared, and then the multiplication piece, or you can think of this as division or multiplication. It's effectively the same thing. Dividing 4 squared by 2 or multiplying it by 1/2 will give you the same value. But even if that's what's giving you grief, you can plug this thing into your calculator exactly as it's written. Like if I went to my calculator and I said, okay, 1/2 bracket 4 squared, or 4 close the bracket squared. I punched this portion into my calculator, and nothing we do in this class is going to be non-calculator. You can use your calculator for absolutely everything. So you can punch this into your calculator and it'll give you 8. And then you just need to remember that minus sign hasn't gone anywhere, and neither has that A. So this piece evaluates to 8, so I'm going to have negative 8A. I don't know if that helps at all, Adafa, but that's how I would approach something like that. I'm not going to ask you to do any mental arithmetic in this course. You just need to be comfortable with what the procedure is and then be able to ram it through a calculator. So I start with this because students actually seem to like this a little bit better than what's coming next. Flip the page. What we're going to look at now is isolating formulas where there are no numbers. And let's play with this. This is what students seem to dislike even more than what has just come before it. Let's take a look at it. If I've got something like this, F equals ma, and I want to solve this thing, these are all equations that we're going to look at over the course of this, well, not all of them. Some of them are equations that we're going to look at over the course of the semester. But if I wanted to isolate this thing, there's no numbers here. I just want to get that variable m by itself. How do we do it? What is happening to that m? Yeah, Lena. Yeah, it's getting multiplied by a here. And so to get that m by itself, we're just going to divide both sides by a. So a divided by a is going to cancel. And we're just going to get that m on this side is going to equal f over a, and we're done. There's no numbers there to evaluate. We're just moving letters around using, well, the opposite of bed mass. We're undoing bed mass. So let's take a look at the next one. If I have E equals mc squared, and I want to get c by itself, what's the first thing I'm going to do? Yeah, heard a joke? Okay, that is one of the first things students always say. Does anyone have any different ideas? Or now 2 of people up front here and you heard today are saying divide by m. One of those has to happen first. When you're I'm going to write this down here. I want to write down bed mass. When you evaluate something, like when you're actually doing the calculation for it, we go this way. When you're calculating, we go this way. When you're isolating, you actually go backwards. When you're isolating something, you go the other way, and you deal with each piece in this order. So if I'm trying to get c squared by itself, we'll start over here and work that way. So is c squared being, or is this term being added or subtracted by anything? No. Is it being multiplied by anything? Yeah, it's being multiplied by m. So that's the first thing we want to get rid of. The opposite of multiplication is division. So the dividing by m needs to be the first thing that happens. My m's are going to cancel. And now I get c squared equals e over m. Now, I'm not doing anything with the c squared except for an exponent. So now this is the stage where I'm going to undo that. I'll rewrite this here. I've got e over m equals c squared. So then to get c by itself, we want to undo the squared. Opposite of squaring is square rooting. And so we're going to square root this entire fraction. The square and the square root are opposite operations, so they cancel each other out. And we're going to get c equals the square root of that whole fraction, e over m. Let's do another one. I've got e equals mgh. I want to solve this thing for g. So what's happening to the g? What are we going to have to undo? We're going to have to divide by the m. So Vine, you said the h. Adolfo, you said the m. Both of them, actually, yeah. Because we're multiplying this g by multiple things, we're going to have to divide out multiple things, and we can do that step all at once. If we're just doing a bunch of multiplication, we can do all of that division together. I'm going to divide by m and h. Divide by m and h. Here they're going to cancel, and I'm just left with that g. So g is going to equal e with that little subscript p divided by m and h together. Number 4. We're almost at the end of the day. Look at that. Time's flying. What do I want to do? Something like 4. I want to solve this expression for m. What am I going to do? What's happening to it? Yeah, here today. Or here to Joe, sorry. Sure, that's one thing. Yeah, we could do that. Since we're multiplying here by half, we could multiply everything by 2. We could do that. That could be our first step. So I'm going to times by 2. I'm going to times by 2. The 2 and the 1/2 are going to cancel. So I'm going to get 2ek equals mv squared. And now I want to get m by itself. Careful, what's happening to the m? Again, we want to go this way. What's happening to the m? It's getting multiplied before anything else. It's getting multiplied by v squared. So because it's being multiplied by v squared, we want to divide by v squared first. Here it's going to cancel. And so I'm going to get m equals 2ek over v squared. And now I wanted to get m by itself. Is m by itself? Yeah, so now we're done. There's no need to square root because squaring had nothing to do with the variable we were trying to isolate. So m in this case is going to equal 2ek over v squared. We cool with that piece? Sure? Yeah? Okay. We'll do one more and we'll call it a day. You're not going to have any homework because I'm going to give you... maybe I should give you some homework. Nah, I'm not going to give you any homework. Not today. Okay, last one. I've got mf equals 7d minus 3p plus 8x. And when I get p by itself, let's see if we can get this done in the 3 minutes before the bell. This one is different from all the previous 4. Why is 5 different than 1 through 4? Yeah, Lena? We got addition and subtraction, so there's multiple terms here. So again, when you're isolating, you start out here. If you have subtraction and addition, what? Hey, we're done. Get out of here. That is 3 minutes earlier than it's supposed to be. Okay, we'll finish it tomorrow. Okay, you two, you need glasses, and you are very chatty. You two, or you're welcome to continue working together as long as we can focus on what's going on. Because I guarantee you, you're going to ask me questions. Have a good one. See you later, guys.
That's all broadcasting.